welcome to our show. Today we are doing an interview with Brianna Morris, a rising star. B. Moore, better known as Brianna Morris, is a young lady on the rise. She knew at an early age what she wanted to become in life. Brianna Morris is an actress, producer, and a director who is definitely a rising star. Welcome, Brianna.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You just have that glow about you. I just love it.
Thank you so much.
Now, who is B. Moore, Brianna Morris?
B. Moore is ambitious.
Okay, I like that.
Yes, she's a go-getter and a learner of life. I think that it's important to find inspiration from every single part of life. So just learning from the smallest things to the big lessons.
So you are receptive to new things, which
Yes,
I love that.
definitely.
You can't have a closed mind and
Oh,
grow.
of
You can't
course
grow.
not. Of course not.
Well, good. So now you attended Lincoln Park High School and Howard University.
Yes, I did.
Now, what attracted you about those two institutions?
Well, for Lincoln Park, my mother actually found out about it before me.
Oh,
she
really?
knew that, yeah, before starting the whole high school process and figuring out where I wanted to go, she knew that I was already acting and I was
Yes.
already doing a lot of shows. I was
Mhm.
doing a lot of performances throughout the city. And so one of her coworkers actually passed on the information to her.
Oh, wow.
And she said, hey, I know your daughter's into acting. They have auditions coming up for the program because Lincoln Park has a performing arts program
Yes.
that you have to audition to actually become
Mhm.
a part of the program.
Mhm.
So I went through my audition and we waited so patiently to see whether or not I was accepted because there were a few who weren't. And we got the letter back and I was accepted.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
I enjoyed every minute of it, especially throughout your teenage years. A lot of stuff you don't know.
Yes.
So it took us through the whole process of figuring out what headshots are, what are the best ways to take
Wait,
headshots.
excuse me. You got headshots while you were there at Lincoln Park?
Oh yeah, they prepare you. They prepare you.
That is wonderful.
Oh yes. You go through audition techniques.
Uh-huh.
You have to study all different types of techniques, movements, improv. So yeah, regardless of what age
Oh,
you
I
are,
didn't
they
know
start
that
preparing you
at Lincoln
very
Park.
soon.
Now, let me ask you this. So was the teacher a participating or performing artist, the teacher?
Yes, Mr. Frelick. Oh my goodness, there's not enough I could say about him. But yes.
No,
yes,
he was
yes,
an
yes.
actor also.
He was an actor. He did some directing, especially for our big plays. He would come on and take on that role. So there's so much that he taught us, and there's so many things that opened me up and kind of cracked that shell for me as an artist just in my high school years. So then once I did go to Howard University, some things, weren't so new and a lot of things were very unfamiliar.
You know, that's exciting because when I went to Columbia College, there were these high school kids who had gone to like, I think it was Hyde Park.
Yeah.
And these kids were really great. They had taken this, I guess they started very, very early, like grammar school or something. And then, these kids were really great. I'm like, oh wow, I feel so out of place, because they were just phenomenal. And but I didn't feel intimidated because I had a background in broadcasting. When I said I was into modeling and acting, all like that. So it was really good.
Yeah.
And they'd always say, okay, Mason, you have to be on camera, which I wanted to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So with that, I think it's good when kids can get that free experience.
Of course.
You were 10 steps ahead of other people.
Of course. And definitely with the experience, it brings on a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom that a lot of people don't know. So you're not really playing catch up in a sense. You're kind of ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
So I definitely appreciated my experience from that standpoint. And then once going to Howard, that was a whole new ball game.
Yes.
I think at Lincoln Park, I learned about show business.
Yes.
And at Howard University, I learned about the business of show.
Yes. I like the way you phrase that.
Yeah. And I can't take credit for it. I definitely can. That comes from our professors at the department. But it allows for us not only to think of ourselves as artists and as brands, but at Howard University, they teach us that you have to understand the business side of it as well, which basically catapulted me into producing and looking at it from a different spectrum. And I started off in the theater world with producing, and then I kind of shifted into film and television. So both experiences, I don't think that I would be more without it for sure.
And they're so different.
Very different.
Yes.
Very different.
I like the theater because you get immediate reaction.
Yeah.
And that is so rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what inspired you to pursue a career in the creative field? I mean, you know.
Interesting. I think it was kind of in my blood. Both of my parents were in broadcasting and communications. So I kind of grew up around it. And once I kind of figured out, like, hey, I like this. I like dancing. I like, you know, getting up to perform. Then that's when I started to craft and hone my skill as much as possible. I started off as young, as being in a dance troupe and doing dance, then shifting to the choir, and then going into acting. So it's so mind-boggling once you find something that you love and you just work at it, because it doesn't really feel like work. It just feels like fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was in my blood.
But you know what? You were a step ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Because most people, even adults, don't know what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
And once you realize you have talents, I'm saying talents because maybe more than one, then you are ahead of the game, really, because you know what to concentrate on.
Yeah.
That is great. Now, you were a producer at an international film festival. How did that come about, and what was the experience like?
It was mind-boggling.
Okay, what festival was that?
So, I attended the Cannes International Film Festival in France.
Oh, wow.
And the first year I went strictly as a networker. I actually had a friend and a fellow peer who went the year before with some of our friends, Jeffrey Glenn. And he was like, hey, Brianna, I think you would be interested in this. You get to go overseas. He knows I love to travel. I love to travel.
Yes.
And he said, why not do it? And then for the program that I went with the Creative Mind Group. And ironically enough, I didn't know at the time, but the CEO and creator of that was a Howard alum.
Wow.
So there was
that was a connection right there.
It was. And we went through the whole doing my application. My friend Jeffrey helped me with my intro video. I submitted it and I got accepted. And because I knew that this was something that I wanted to figure out more about, I wanted to definitely learn more about television and film, especially having a background in theater, I went strictly to network. And I went in as a producer and as an actress and met some phenomenal people.
Oh, I know you did.
And the following year, I went again, but this time I actually was a part of a 7-day film challenge that took place there at the festival. So with the Creative Mind Group, you have at least 5 to 7 people in your group from literally all over the world.
That's interesting.
And you guys meet for the first time in Cannes, and they expect for you to create a story, meet it by the deadline, and then at the end they have this huge screening for it. And so the second year I did a lot more hands-on work, and it's unexplainable, the process. You know, who can say that they actually shot a short film in France during a film festival? So it was amazing. I definitely encourage anyone who has not had an opportunity to attend a film festival, whether it's local or international, do it.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine the exposure.
Yes.
And the people. People you meet. Yeah.
And it opens up your mind. You know, sometimes we are limited to just American films, but there is an entire plethora of films out there, from French films to films that are made in Italy to films that are made in Ethiopia. There are a plethora of options. So, you know, being exposed to something like that, you can't do anything but grow.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I learned, TV in foreign countries is so different than America. Because, you know, we just think America is so great and everything. Yeah. But it is so different.
Very much so. Very much so. And you know, if you don't ever try it, you never know if you like it.
Right.
So why not try it once?
Well, did you think you would want to live abroad?
I love to travel, so I don't think that that's far fetched. And I can definitely say I get that from my mom. My mom at one point she worked for the airlines, and so
Oh, did she?
yeah. And so throughout my childhood, we did a lot of family traveling.
Oh, yeah.
We did a lot of family trips, not only here but also, you know, overseas. So it's not too far fetched.
Yes.
You can catch me on a plane, I will go.
Well, Brianna, when I was younger, I used to love, you know, teaching in the teaching profession. Spring vacation, summer break, I would travel. But now I'm like, I guess I'm getting more afraid.
Oh,
I'm a little more timid.
We're going to have to plan a trip together.
Okay, all right. That sounds interesting. So now, what about this one-woman show you're creating? How did that come about? A one-woman show at your age?
Yeah.
How did that come about? No, it's exciting.
It is. It's exciting. And I was actually inspired from another fellow artist here in the city who I had an opportunity to work with last year. And I went to see one of her shows, and I told her how much I really admire her character building. I admired her work ethic and the process that she takes to actually create and embody the characters that she creates. So I asked her one day, I said, how do you choose these phenomenal characters? And she said she gave me one piece of advice that I held on to. She says, I figure out what is the most scariest character I would ever want to put on. And that's the one that I go after. And she said,
that is something to think about.
It is. And she said that's usually how her career goes. If she's scared out of her mind, that's what she does.
Is that right?
And so I started thinking, I'm like, wow, like for me, I'm like, well, what would be one of the most scariest thoughts to dive into? And I said, okay, a one-woman show.
Okay.
And I started thinking like, man, there's so many great one-woman shows out there, you know, or from just actors and then also comedians. Like the first people I think of is Anna Devere Smith. I think of Whoopi Goldberg. And
I love Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, she is amazing.
Oh, it's so talented.
Very talented.
Yes, I watch anything that she does.
And she's so quick with
it.
You know?
Yes, very witty.
And I was like, you know, well, what do I want to do? And I was looking through my library of books and stuff. And like I said, my mom was a writer. So I said, I started looking at her book, Me Time, which is about 5 women on different parts, different journeys of their life. And I said, wow, why not turn this into a one-woman show? So that's what it is. It's a one-woman show based off of the characters in my mom's book, Me Time. It's about 5 women, and right now I'm in the creative process of taking the stories from the women in the book and putting my own creative license on it and creating this one-woman show. So right now it's going great.
So you will play the 5 different characters?
I would play all 5 different characters.
Oh wow, that is really something.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
when
you so much.
when you have this together, you know, let me know. I
would
love to see that.
I will. We'll do.
Okay, now you received the 2015 Phenomenal Woman Award. Now, how did this come about? I mean, here you are, a young lady receiving a 2015 Phenomenal Woman Award. Tell me about that. This organization and this award.
It was very unexpected. The Black Women's Expo has a gala that they do every year. And it's called the 2015 Phenomenal Woman Award Gala. That's what it was called this year. And surprisingly, I didn't even know I was nominated. Miss Anita Gaines, I had a meeting with her at one of my favorite restaurants, which ironically is very close by. It's in Greektown called Atropolis.
Oh, yes.
I love their food. And
I love Greek food.
Yes. And we were just meeting, and she was asking me a lot of questions about, like, what do I do? And I just told her I really wanted to pick her brain because she's in television. And I was like, if I could just take up some of your wisdom, that would be amazing. And I told her about, you know, some of the things that I do with my students and how I taught as a teaching artist in CPS schools and charter high schools, and how I also mentor some of the students at the church that I go to. And unbeknownst to me, she nominated me to the Black Women's Expo.
That was great.
And they emailed me and they were like, hey, you've been nominated. I was like, wow. And they nominated me for my community service here.
Oh, wow.
And
That's great.
it was amazing. And I was one of the youngest
Oh, I can
nominees.
imagine. Yes.
And so being on a platform with these amazing women who have spent 15, 20, and 30 years in their career and who are dynamic, it was very mind-blowing. And it just gave me hope, like, keep going, keep going.
Now, were these women, were they all in the broadcasting field?
No.
Oh,
No.
from all genres.
Different, yes, from health to the food industry to pharmacy, literally all.
Oh, okay.
All different professions and all from different walks of life.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Now, so what have you learned about yourself after appearing in theatrical productions, films, and directing? Because each one is so different.
It is. I think the one thing that I learned about myself is patience and endurance. In this business, you have to have a very thick skin.
Because there's an awful lot of rejection.
It is. And you will hear 99 no's before you hear one yes.
Yes. Tell me about it. I know about that.
It's in those times that you really build your character and you really build your faith and you build that patience. And so that's something that I'm still learning about every day. But I know that if you have those two things, endurance and patience, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yes.
Nowhere to go but up. You just got to keep with it. And you have to encourage yourself and keep that support system around you.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because it's an awful lot of rejection in broadcast. I'm saying broadcasting.
Yeah.
Whether in film, theater, whatever. It's a lot of rejection. You have to have a thick skin. If you're a very insecure person, you are not going to make it.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's a lot of rejection.
It is, and you have to be open to that.
Yes.
And there was one piece of advice that someone gave me, and she said that you have to be vulnerable, but you also have to be rejectable.
Yes.
You have to understand that you're going to be rejected, so you have to be rejectable.
More so than accepted.
Yeah.
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 So you have to you have to have confidence in yourself, because if not, I mean, if you are an insecure person, I mean, you're just gonna like.
Yes, you wouldn't get past the first month.
No. Oh no.
No. You know, you wouldn't get past the first month, and I think that I've been so blessed to have a great support system from my family to artists around me who are also on this path and who are also beating to their own drum. That we all support each other, and we need more of that. We need, as a collective, to continue to support each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And be that support system for each other, because it's lonely at the top, you know? So I tell all my friends, I want to see everyone in my camp winning.
Right.
Why not?
Right.
You know,
right.
There's
exactly.
more than enough for us to take over and for us to just own it.
Well, and I like the fact that you have that family support, because my mom, bless her soul, she used to always say, forget about that foolishness and just stick with teaching. And which I enjoyed that, but I also like that other side too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. There's always, going to be, of course, you have one main interest, but from that could be several other interests that you love. So you don't have to necessarily choose and pick and say, oh, I only want this one, and I'm going to leave those alone.
Right.
But no,
you can do it all. Right.
Yes, you
exactly.
can do it all.
Yes. Now, what do you mean when you say your motto is earn your sleep? What is that, Miss Brianna?
Earn your sleep. It's a motto that I live by, and basically what it means is that everyone has the same 24 hours in a day.
Okay.
And I'm a firm believer that every day you wake up, you need to prove why you are here, and you also have to prove that you are living out your purpose, and that you are living out your destiny, and that you're walking the path that has been ordained for you to walk. And if you aren't, what are you doing? So for me, if I don't feel like I have done enough that day in terms of moving towards my goals and towards accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish, sleep is a privilege. And if you go from that mindset, then there are so many different things that you can accomplish along the way. Now, I did not say no sleep, because you have to listen to your body.
Oh,
you
yes,
know, no one
absolutely.
can operate on no sleep.
Right. You can't function.
Exactly.
You can't be effective.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you have to fulfill that. You have to fulfill this time on earth. And I think the difference between those who earn their sleep versus those who don't, those are the one who people look up to as role models. Those are the iconic figures. Those are the greats. You know, the top person, you know, who you see on television or in any field. Those are the people who are earning their sleep. So for me, I think, okay, what will make me different? If I get something the night before, you got an audition tomorrow morning, or you have to be on set at 6 a.m. and you have to learn these lines, what's going to make me different from the person? I'm not going to go to sleep until those lines are memorized. But that's what makes greatness.
Yes.
So earn your sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good, though. I mean, you're taking your craft seriously. Okay. Now, a little later on, we're going to see a video, but I want to ask you this. What has been your greatest challenge in life, and how did you overcome it? Wait, think about that. But I'm going to say, we're going to talk about your video, and I'm going to show your video at the end.
Okay.
At the closing of my show.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead. Tell me.
What has been my greatest challenge? I think my greatest challenge has been self-motivation.
Self-motivation.
Which kind of...
You seem like, wait, excuse me, you seem like you are self-motivated.
Yeah, I try to be. I try to be.
Well, I mean, you come across to me as really being
Thank
self-motivated.
you.
I mean, the things that you've learned in life, I mean, you don't hear a lot of old adults, quote unquote, saying those things. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it's a thing of kind of how I was saying before. You know, in this industry, you have to have tough skin.
Yes.
But I think that the critical part about it is every day you have to start that process over and over again, of motivating yourself, looking in the mirror and saying, I am great, I will be great, and speaking positivity into your life. You know, like people, if you have that good support system, people would do that around you. But unless you say it to yourself and you look yourself in the eye and say, this is the day that I'm going to be great, then you know, that's how you accomplish, and that's how you continue to be patient. That's how you continue to endure. That's how you continue to enjoy the climb. And I'm now understanding as I get older that that's very important. That's very important.
Okay. What advice would you give a young person or anyone who's trying to decide what they want to do in life?
The first thing that I would suggest to them is to find out their heart's desire.
Yes.
What is it in them that drives them, that moves them? And even if you don't know, go from the things that make you happy.
Yes.
Go from the activities that make you happy and build on that. And from that, I would say, make your opportunities.
Yes.
You know, you can't sit around waiting for the phone to ring thinking that you're going to get the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, that's
it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. And it's one in a million.
Yes.
Oh, I wish.
Yes.
I wish.
So do I. Go ahead.
But you have to make your own opportunities. If you see that there's a lack of opportunities or employment or whatever, make it.
Yes.
And then from there, the third thing that I would suggest to them is that you have to understand when your time comes, it will be when your time comes.
Yes.
And most of the answers that we're always looking for are always in front of us. But we have to be open to them.
Yes.
So you have to understand, like, continue to open yourself, continue to find the answer in different things, and realize, you know, how the world is moving around you. You know, you can find an answer from actually, you know, sitting down, writing something in a journal to just being on a simple walk. And it's like, you have that aha moment. Yeah. So, those will be the three things that I say. Find your heart's desire, make your own opportunities, and understand when your time comes, it's going to come.
Yes.
And that most of the answers that we're looking for are in front of us, but we have to be open to them.
Yes. Now, we don't have much time, but I want to ask you this. Now, tell me about this docu-series, Attention America, We Beg Your Pardon. Now, what was the inspiration for that, and What are you trying to convey to your audience? And then after that, we'll watch it.
Okay. Attention America is a docu-series that I started.
Okay.
And the inspiration came after I moved back to Chicago from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And I was driving around and I felt this disconnect between myself and the city. And I was like, why do I feel this way? And of course, when you're away, you know, you see different things on the news about, you know, the place you call home or different cities that you may have come from. And for me, I kept seeing an image that I didn't like. And this entire series spiraled from one question. Why is Chicago viewed as a poster child for violence? So that was the basis of it. However, it spiraled into so many other different topics that we touched on, from education to resources to the economy to politics, to just the heartbeat of Chicago.
Okay.
And it was an opportunity for locals and natives, for them to actually share their voice. Because so many times I saw where, you know, we had people who would maybe come into the city, do, you know, a segment or two or do a series about the city, but they really didn't dive into the culture of what makes Chicago, Chicago.
It was more or less negative.
Yes, very much so for the most part. And so for me, I wanted to make sure that that opportunity for locals to speak was presented.
Okay.
And that they could have their voices heard.
Okay. Brianna, I want to thank you. I have enjoyed
you.
meeting you. You are so gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're going to do well. Believe
Thank
me.
you so much.
Just remember me when you get up there.
Please, yes, of course.
Okay, I want to thank my viewers for watching. I hope you'll continue to watch. And now we're going to watch the docu-series by Brianna, America. We beg you, Attention America, I should say. We beg your pardon. Okay, let's roll that tape. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Morning from the south side. What day is good for morning on the south side?
Kids can get a gun. Quick, can they get a book from the library? I guess that puts us all at risk.